Okay, we are still in section 2.4. Okay, so remember, say if I have the fraction 3 divided by 4, then if I multiply that by 4 divided by 3, I get 1. So these are the reciprocals of each other. So we can express, okay, we sometimes express this by saying that 4/3 is equal to 1 divided by 3/4, okay? So I am dividing 1. This is new because before we had 1 divided by a whole number, right?
Yeah.
In the denominator, we always had only whole numbers. Now I have fractions. So what's the meaning of that? If I'm writing 1 divided by a fraction, I mean the reciprocal of that fraction. Right? The reciprocal of the fraction 3/4 is 4/3. So when I write 1 whole divided by 3/4, I mean the number 4/3. Everybody is clear on that? So 1 divided by a fraction means the reciprocal of that fraction. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Any questions on this? Now we want to talk about how do you divide fractions, okay? So how do I divide one fraction by another fraction? Okay? So here's how we do it. Suppose I have a fraction a over b and I want to divide that by another fraction c over d. Okay? Well, dividing by a number is the same. So suppose I want to divide something by a 2, right? Suppose I have a number, I want to divide that number by 2. Isn't that the same as multiplying that number by half? If I want to divide a number by 2, it's the same as multiplying that number by half. So in this case, I want to divide this fraction by this fraction, and I can write it as a over b and then multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. So when I have this division here, what's the numerator and what's the denominator? C over d is the denominator. So I take the reciprocal of that. So this is 1 over c divided by d. So that's the reciprocal of c over d, but the reciprocal of c over d is just d over c. So a over b times d over c. Okay? So that means if I'm dividing a fraction by another fraction, all I have to do is the fraction in the denominator, I just flip it and multiply. Okay? So let's look at some examples. So examples. Okay, so let's say I am dividing half by 1/4, okay? What is that equal to? Half multiplied with 4 divided by 1, as he said. And this is equal to what? 4 over 2 is equal to what? 2. Or you can just cancel out the same factor, right? So 4 has a factor of 2. In the denominator you have a factor of 2. You can cancel them out. Everybody's okay?
No.
So here I have the number half multiplied with 4 divided by 1. So last time we discussed that if I'm multiplying two fractions, and I can cancel out common factors of the numerator and the denominator, meaning that I can divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So first of all, I could say, you see, the number 4, if I divide that by 2, I get 2. And if the number 2 here, if I divide it by 2, I get 1. So I am dividing the numerator by 2, the denominator by 2. So what is left? What is left is 2. Right? Is that making sense? So when you are multiplying fractions, this cannot be done for addition. Okay? Only for multiplication like this, you can cancel out common factors, meaning that you can divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So I divided 4 by 2. I divided the denominator 2 by 2. Okay, so what's left here is 1, and what's left here is 2. Okay, let's do more examples like this. Say I have 3/8, and I am dividing that by 9 divided by 4. Once again, this is equal to what? Multiplied with 4 over 9. So here's what I'm going to do in this case. I'm going to divide this by 4. I get 1. I'm going to divide this guy by 4. I get 2. Okay. Divide this guy by 3. I get 1. Divide this guy by 3. 3. So what's left?
5.
Half and a 1/3, which is 1 over 6. Right? 1 times 1 in the numerator. 1 times 1 in the numerator. 3 times 2 in the denominator. Right? Questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
How come to how to
Mhm.
count? I don't know. Like
How to see? Go ahead.
how we let two became 1, like 4.
Became 1.
Yeah.
Well, this is what we are doing. We are dividing the numerator by 4. Well, we are also dividing the denominator by 4. So whenever I have a fraction, let's say I have the fraction 12 divided by 8. Okay? This fraction is the same as I can divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number and still get the same fraction. So if I divide 12 by 4, I get what? 3. I get 3. And if I divide the denominator by 4, I get 2. The fraction 12 over 8, that's the same as the fraction 3/2. Okay? So when you divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number, it doesn't change the fraction. Okay? Same is true if you are allowed to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, it doesn't change the fraction. Is that making sense? So in this example, all I did was I divided the numerator by 4. There was already a factor of 4. That's why I canceled that out. I divided the numerator by 4. I divided the denominator by 4. Okay, that was the first thing I did. The second thing I did, I divided the numerator by 3, denominator by 3. Okay, you are allowed to divide by the same number. And it doesn't change your value. Yeah, but you see, my numerator is like 3 times 4 divided by 8 times 9, right? So when I divide the numerator, I'm dividing 3 times 4. When you divide 3 times 4 by 4, you get 3, right? Is that making sense? So the way I did it here, it's similar to if you do it now, right? Is that making sense? So that is, if I have a product, okay, suppose I have a product 2 times 6. And if I divide it by 3, right? One thing I could say, okay, this is the same as 12 divided by 3. And then I could say this is 4. But I can also do it right here. I can say, well, divide 6 by 3. You get 2. And then you have 4 also. Is that making sense? Any questions? Let's do some more examples like this. Let's say Okay, let's say I have the following, okay? Half divided by 1 over 12. That should be easy. It is equal to what? Half times 12 over 1. And then if I divide the numerator here, I mean if you want, I can write the numerator in this way. It's 1 times 12. The denominator is 2 times 1, right? And then I can divide the numerator by 2, I get 6. If I divide the denominator by 2, I get 1. So I get 6 over 1, which is 6, right? Okay, now let's look at the following example. 4 divided by 27 divided by 16 over 9. Okay, what is that?
4 over 27 multiply 9.
Yeah, so 4 over 27. I multiply that with 9 over 16. Oh. Okay, I multiply that with 9 over 16. Okay, now this is the same as, let me write it this way, 4 times 9 divided by 27 times 16.
We change 27 by 3.
Now, okay, so I am going to first divide the numerator by 4. Yeah, I'm going to divide the numerator by 4. I'm going to divide the denominator by 4, right? What do I get? So I have this, 4 cancels out when I divide by 4. And when I divide the denominator by 4, I get 4 here. Okay, if I divide the numerator by 9,
1. 3.
by 9,
1.
I'm going to divide by 9.
Yeah, 1.
I get 1. And if I divide 27 by 9, I get 3. So what do I have? In the numerator, I have 1. In the denominator, I have 12. At the end, I'm getting 1 over 12. Everybody is getting it. Let's do
One more example.
one more like this. So let's say I have the number, let's say 9 over 16 divided by 20 divided by, no, let's say, sorry, later. Let's say I have 20 in the denominator and I have 5 here, okay? So what is that equal to?
9.
I get 9 divided by 16 multiplied with 20 over 5. Okay, first of all, I can divide the numerator by 4.
4, yeah.
If I divide it by 4, I get 5. If I divide this guy by 4, I get 4. Now, if I divide the numerator and the denominator by 5, this 5 and this 5 cancels out. Yeah. Okay? Everybody's okay? Go ahead. So in the numerator, I have 9 left. In the denominator, I have 4 left. What's that? Okay, let's go over. So you agree that I have 9 over 16, 20 divided by 4, right? So divide the numerator by 4 first. You're going to get 5 here and 4 here. But then you have 5 over 5 here, right, left? They cancel out. 5 over 5 cancel out.